What's up, WWE Champions Universe? This is Lee from Champions Chat, and Rusty's here, and we're with 76 of our very best friends on Twitch on the live WWE Champions main account, and we are going to power rate Naomi, Return of the Glow. Rusty, did you get Naomi?
No, sir. But I'm excited that there's a new Naomi. I think she is worthy of it. And I think a female striker has long been a woeful category in Champions. So I'm excited there's more. Remember, it felt like Infinite Trickster season last year. So I'm excited to see strikers coming into the game in a more predominant fashion. And I think I think this power rating is going to be probably surprising on one end or the other, because I think they always are. I'm either underwhelmed or overwhelmed, right, with how a superstar performs.
Right. Well, let's see how she does. We're going to run her two different ways. She has three builds, but I'm going to show you, for the sake of the power rating, the two that are going to be the most common, I think, after plus 99 MP is gone. Starting with the triple green, 7 MP green move, Feel the Glow, color submission, choose 8 gems to make into green subs, and do damage for 5 turns. That's going to hurt her overall speed for feud. Roundhouse kick, 9 MP green, but it's loaded by the first move, so the 9 and the 10 don't matter because the first move loads it out. Roundhouse kick, deal damage, increase your green gem damage by 300%. And then the head scissors takedown, finisher, deal damage, and make the board, 49 gems, into green gems. On the entourage, oh, sorry, what's that?
I said I like that. I love someone that can break the whole board.
I know.
Is extremely useful.
Nice. We get Muda, who does it twice. We got green MP with George Steele, because we're rating her for what she's going to be like after plus 99 MP. Do have Scott Steiner. I consider him a little bit more of a rare trainer. Big Papa Pump there. 2 green moves plus 50% green gem damage. You could run, you don't have to run him, although he gives the most damage for that part, but you can run Heavy Metal Rhea and buff the sub. You can run, there's a number of people that you could put there, so don't think that he's the only one needed. Then we've got Becky for green gems do 30% more damage, and the new Brett because green gems do 35% more damage. So we're just eking out 5% more on that little win. On the strap, we've got our 50% gem damage strap, so we're not adding a 100% or 130%, anything crazy. Double Fury 2s with All Heart. Whenever you generate 3 or more submission gems, increase your green gem damage by 100%, also some purple. And then the KO Show, whenever you break 4 or more green gems, generate 10 black gems. You do not need that one, but I do recommend All Heart. Rusty, you saw me run this last night. What do you think about this build as I get it going here?
So, okay, well, here's what I think. In some sense, I'm thinking that this is becoming a pattern of superstar builds, meaning Devon Dudley triple purple, Julius triple purple plus All Heart, Naomi plus All Heart, Final Boss triple yellow plus Baddest. It feels like the mono color with the first turn sub plus the boost plate, Grayson Waller with the Gremlin's ears. So it's not that I'm not bemoaning the design. I really like it, in fact, but I know a lot of our audience does not like the turn 1 sub to set it up.
Right.
They think it's too slow for feud. They think it's a little tedious.
Yep.
I think it's fantastic because I don't have that expectation, though. So
Right. I could see that. Well, I mean, the results don't lie, though. She hit 53 million, so that's not above our 60 million threshold to put her at a 5, at least with this build so far. But I'm going to do another build. House of McDuck, good evening and happy early morning feuding. And then, Rusty, while I'm building the other setup, do you want to talk to Derek 1985?
Question about plates that a free-to-play player must choose from: RK Overload, Boat Status, Strong Style, and Larger Than Life. Are any of those plates game-changing for anyone who I hopefully have? If you're a free-to-play player, since we do call our show Enter the Chat, feel free to chime in and respond to Derek 1985. But let him know which superstar you're running with that plate. My first inclination would be to grab the RK Overload plate, simply because it is the only plate that was not a free 7th anniversary plate that many on. So I think the 7th anniversary MP charge plates are going to be more common in the game now that the plate picker wall is gone. The RK Overload plate was actually for sale recently, but for a free-to-play player, I don't know that any of them are necessarily going to be game-changing, because what you're starting to do is build your inventory. Right. So if that's the thought, right, building an inventory or a solid base, I think the RK Overload makes sense, because you can get a little more damage out of that plate versus the others that are helping you recycle. But yeah, you're like McDuck said, right? You're gonna look at what is gonna make my roster more powerful or more versatile. That's a great way to put it. So
I like that.
And baby, I said this: we love our turn 2 killers. Boo the big kids for their turn 1 wins, right?
So well, there we go.
I especially for boss battle, I love setting the board up turn 1 for a big explosion turn 2. Like, I like that.
Well, I mean, I think it just depends on your play style. You know, obviously, if we watch Merrick's streams, he does not like subs. He doesn't like turn 2s.
Right.
You love them. I'm somewhere between. I'm okay with them. Like, if I get Naomi, which I don't have her, I would run her triple green, to be honest. But here's the next move set too, though.
All I say is I love sub so much. I wish they were relevant in increased in damage with the meta. That's my thing, right? So
well, Julius kind of gets it started. So if he's like the baseline for 6 gold and others are above him, I think we'll be okay at some point. But
cool,
we'll see. All right. Well, her second move set that we're going to use as a post 99 MP build is the Dodging Enziguri. 6 MP red move, deal damage, increase your black MP by 10. The Moonsault, 6 MP red move, deal damage and create 3 columns of botch gems. And then the Afterglow combo, deal damage plus bonus damage for every botch gem, pin the opponent, and then increase your red MP by 6. So it self-reloads. Very easy turn 1 to get going. I will just call out, since we're not going to show it, we did show it last night on stream, so I mean, we ran her last night as well, just didn't do the power rating. The running hip attack plus the 4x7 area into red plus the increase your black MP by 10 would be your other move set. Post 99 MP though, you can't hit the 2 columns twice. And even when you have the 2 columns twice, the move eats up one of the spaces. So you could take a swipe and that'd be fine. But it just isn't it's just not as spicy a build, even though those are some pretty decent power gems after 99 MP. So if you disagree, put it in the chat. And then Entourage, we've got Butch or Sting or Roxanne for red MP. And then you're going to have Botch Gems do 100% more with Barrett. Botch Gems do 60% more with Becky. We just left her on. And then we need the 1 more MP from Santa Hogan to make sure that those red moves start loaded turn 1 in Feud. On the plates, these are super rare. They're not required, and I ran her last night without them to show everybody, but they do make a world of difference. If I had these 2 plates, she would be a great candidate. The Hitman's battle armor, and this is needed for me to run her against Jade anyway, so even if we're just using it so that Jade doesn't sub us and screw up the whole process. And then the final boss finery, whenever you make 15 or more botch gems, decrease all of your opponent's gems for 80% for 3 turns. If you were to have either or both of those, a defensive strap and defensive plates, this build is insane. Like, it's not about the damage she does, it's about them not kicking out. So, I'm going to run it. Rusty, you take it from here.
I mean, I don't know that there are 2 more rare plates currently than the ones you've put on Naomi. I don't have either in my inventory, for the record. So this is a great build. This is, in some sense, similar to what Final Boss does with his botched setup as well. And they're just not going to kick out. I mean, with you taking that much damage away from their kick out, plus botches all over the board, it's going to be really hard to escape. So if Naomi's your best female and you have those plates, this is the build for you, because you're going to win. I mean, you're just going to win, and you're going to get that turn 1 win without the sub that you so desire. So
Yeah, if you have the final boss finery, I say put it on her, period. But yeah, if you saw that, this moveset took about 20 seconds to win, and Jade Cargill was not even close to kicking out.
Right.
Like, not even close. Now, I had some people ask and say, hey, can you do it without a plate? Yes, I can show you without the same moveset real quick without the plate. I am going to leave the Hitman's Battle Armor on there just for the sake of the fact that if not, the other Jade, not Cora, but Cargill, will sub us, and then it ruins the thing. You know, we're trying to go for what does this actually look like. So you would hit this move turn 1 to fill your black MP, if you're post 99 MP, obviously. You're going to lay down some botch gems, try to overwrite colors that she's likely to take. I think she's more likely to take these purples, and then that also hits those reds. And then we hit our finisher. The finisher only does 20-something million, which I know 23 million is not bad, but it's only 23 at gold. At gold, that's B tier at gold. But she couldn't kick out, even with the final boss plate taken off. But with that final boss plate, it was like 80% of her kick out bar was still left. So it was like she definitely is not kicking out with that final boss plate.
I don't recall. Is she S plus tier or just S tier? What's Naomi's?
She's S tier.
S tier. Okay.
Yeah. Cody's the only S plus tier in the game. Now, the only other thing with 99 MP, but we don't power rate for that, would be if you throw the running hip attack out twice, and then instead of using the red move to wherever it went, the black move right here to make a 4x7 into red, you just take a swipe. That's going to hit pretty spicy, but again, it's really hard to get this going twice in one turn without, because then you have to suffer the power gems dropping dramatically, not using those trainers, etc. So we just don't, I'm just not throwing that out there for the power rating. So we got one that hit 53 million, but is going to take a little bit longer. We've got the other that barely hit her at all, but they're so defensive that she just wasn't going to kick out. So that's it right there. I think we're ready to switch over to the power rating screen.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's a fair look on both her maybe her top end build for those that have rare plates, and then her kind of standard build for the maybe larger part of the community.
Yep.
And I think if Naomi's in future loots, this may be a video that they come back to and revisit and see what she can do.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. Well, the first two categories are objective data, objective. So we already know what she ranks out at in terms of what does she hit, what does she not hit, etc. So she cannot hit the 5-point tier because she's not doing 60 million. And I know 60 million is a big number in this game, but for 5 points, or what we call our version of S plus tier, you have to be able to hit at least 60 million to get going. That's a fair metric across the board. We've seen a lot of characters hit it, and we've seen a lot of characters fall short of it. So she does 80%. She did 53 million, 55 million with that before the gym buffs or debuffs or whatever that Jade hit. So she hit just under 60 million. So that's a 4. And then her speed, for a 4, at least 2 of the following are true. Her MP charge is 7 or less, which both moves were 7 or less. Moves recycle flawlessly. Both movesets recycled flawlessly. The animations were quick in most regards, but the big thing is winning a feud under 60 seconds. So if we're going to power rate her on the triple green basis, then you're talking... It took at least 45, 50 seconds for both turns to go off. It's not going to happen under 45 seconds. You may win under 45 seconds with the other build, but you have to have so much extra stuff like the final boss plate that's going to drop her down on these other categories. So for those ones, to be fair, it's 4 and 4. And then we go to readiness. For a 5 in readiness, character needs 0 or 1 special thing. That's a plate, a gear, a moment, or whatever. Rare trainer to make them work well. She needed the all heart for triple green, and she needs, doesn't need, but super benefits from the final boss finery plate for that one. So that's still one thing. You don't have to have Scott Steiner, but if you have Big Papa Pump, that super helps as well. For a 4, character needs 2 special things: plate, gear, moment, rare trainer, etc. to make them work well. For a 3, character needs 3 special things, and for a 2, character needs 4 special things. So Rusty, you've got the poll up. You want to tell them what to do?
Poll is live. I need to unpin our other comment so everyone can see it. All right, everyone should be able to see our poll vote. It's pinned in the chat. Yeah, I got your 5s. A couple of people are already starting to vote. Yeah, you can click there, and then be sure to click vote underneath to actually cast your vote. Hit refresh if for some reason your vote isn't going through. And I think I set this one to 2 minutes because you were still sharing the overview. Oh. But right now, the 4s have basically a landslide. They're running away with it. What's our Discord voting look like?
Well, I posted Discord way later today than I normally do, so they haven't had as many people as we normally have on there. But for this particular one on Discord, the 5s are winning, but only by 3 votes. So,
yeah, 4 is over 80%. So I'm pretty confident that's even with about 30 seconds left in the vote, that's where it's going to hang.
Yeah,
is a 4, at least on Twitch with us tonight.
The only way, I could see that in terms of a special thing being a plate. Yes, all heart is definitely a big help for her on that one. If you want to talk Big Papa Pump being a special thing, I can agree there. She doesn't have gear. She doesn't have a moment. So those type things, I could see a 4. I'd be between a 4 and a 5 for this category for her myself. But
I'm wondering I'm wondering how available the all heart is, and if that's kind of dissuading. Is that the word? Persuading people to vote for.
I think so, yeah. And Baby Ice is arguing for decimals again.
Jasser 5467 said, "I have 0 special things." So
there you go.
I think there's some truth to that.
Yep. Dylan says 7+ years in and no all heart. And if you know my story from the podcast for years and years, there was a time where you could shred your plates to get plate mover currency. I shredded all heart and the boss plate. And I've since got both of them back, but I still only have one. So, I mean, after 7 years, I would have a maximum of
Wow.
2 on my account. So, I would call that
Wow.
rare. I would call that rare.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I bet that's why the 4 is there.
Yeah. House of McDuck
Me
says,
too.
feels like all I get is hearts. Well, there you
Yeah,
go.
well, you know what? That's why Scrooge McDuck, he swims in the fountain of coins already, so he's living a different life than we are.
That's right. All right, let's talk versatility. For versatility to be a 5, character needs to be competitively usable in feud, boss, and showdown. Character also needs to have a special gem type, which she does. Everybody does at this point, to help with extreme rules and boss battle. For a 4, character is competitively usable in 2 of the 3 between feud, boss, and showdown. Still needs to have a special gem type. And for a 3, character is competitively usable in 1 mode, feud, boss, or showdown. May occasionally be a sleeper in boss. And for a 2, the character is not strong in any competitive format, but is capable of winning tours and blitzes. So, Rusty, you ready to post? You got
One
it.
1 minute poll is live.
1 minute.
We're back to our lightning polls now.
Nice. Iceman, thank you for the raid. We appreciate that.
Nice.
So,
Hey Lee,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah. So all I was gonna say is I wonder if a lot of our viewers are watching on a screen and they don't necessarily have a way to vote, because the viewership is a lot higher than the votership. So just interesting.
That is interesting. I like your turn of phrase there too. That's good. I would use her in feud. I mean, depending on the setup that I had, I wouldn't be afraid to throw her out there. She's going to be a little bit slower than I would normally prefer, but also with the females, there's only a handful of females that are pretty fast. In terms of showdown, I think she'd be okay. Boss, I don't. I mean, she'd be a great green gem shield breaker. I mean, that would be her role. I don't think she would be the high damage person, but then again, 300% buff on green. So for me, I'm thinking feud and I'm sorry, definitely boss, but feud would be okay. Showdown's a kind of a question mark. Where are you at on that, Rusty?
Yeah, the female category throws me off a little bit because I mean, you engage in the format and trying to meet the requirements. I don't think there's another female superstar that quite does what she does. So she's certainly gonna be the one, right, to go into. But gosh, I mean, a versatility of 4. Anyway, stuttering. I'm not thinking of any format that I wouldn't gladly engage in with her.
Yeah.
Like now she doesn't have a great necessarily link for showdown, but yeah. I mean, I wouldn't hold back, or be like, oh, I've only have Naomi for this. Not
Right.
That's. I mean, I think she's a 5. I mean, I think I would. I think she's a competitive, feud worthy, showdown worthy, boss battle worthy, definitely tour worthy.
Right. Yeah, tours are hard to. I mean, you got to be one of the old C tier characters to struggle in tours nowadays, or be.
And
Brutus
she might be able to
Creed.
knock out some extreme rules requirements with 2 different special gem types. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the 4s were over 60%. Which,
Oh, yeah.
again, that's not a runaway though. Like,
Right.
It's not an 80-90%, right? So
Right. Well, you got, like Homeless Dude says in here, she's not even close to a 4. Jabroni says if they had any women's loaders where you choose a gym and then tag out, you'd be higher for her on Showdown.
okay.
I mean, if she gets a debuff, because that's the big thing with Showdown, right? I mean, if it's like, hey, you can't use green gems or your green moves start really low for Showdown, she'd take forever. I mean, again, you could switch to the botch build, but that 20
Fair.
million at green or at silver, whatever we're on now, gold, yeah, 6-star
Was
green
HD
is what we're on.
saying, just for clarification, was HD saying she's a firm 5? or lower than a 4. Like I don't want to, I guess, misinterpret.
Right. I don't know either. Homeless dude, HD, do you want to say? Are you saying? Oh, you're saying lower. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the 4 is the fair. I mean, again, I think she's gonna. I don't know. Quote me on this in a month or two or month or two, as if they do female boss battles that often. Quote me on this in 6 months, whenever they do a female boss battle with green gems, and I would imagine she would be the destroyer for that. But you do need that very specific, thing to show up, and for females, we're not knocking her for being a female in this because it's every female in the game, but the female boss battles come around so often that it's almost like we're just hoping that they remember they should do a female boss battle every once in a while. So we'll see. But either way, I think you could argue for at least 2 modes. I think that's fair. You could argue that at least 2 of those modes she'd be good in.
Sure. What's the score then? 3? 4? Stick with the
4. Community? Yeah,
okay.
Oh, that's right, DeKid. Yeah, Charlotte would own that, actually. But still, I mean, either way. All right, for Entourage ability, for a 5, essential trainer coach ability that adds something you don't want to go into battle without. For a 4, widely used trainer coaching ability helps the character it's being used on reach their full potential. For a 3, niche trainer coaching ability may not be used much, but very valuable when needed, and we cannot go below that based on past ratings. So her Entourage ability is built for Tiffany Stratton. That's what it is. Its blue gems do 60% more damage, which is the second character now who has above 40 or 50% on her trainer for gems. And then purple moves start with 2 more MP. I mean, this hits what you love, Rusty. It's you've said it's got to have MP charge and it's got to have something else spicy to it. There's some crackling noises.
Poll is live.
What is that crackling? Oh, thanks. Sorry, that was really popping in my ears. I don't know how the chat received it, but...
Sorry, I was opening some prosciutto for my daughter.
Oh, you're good. I just wasn't sure.
And now I'm eating a piece.
Ducky Schultz says it was ASMR. It's fine. It's fine. Homeless Dude says her trainer ability would be way better if the free-to-play card didn't also have 60% blue. That's agreed. Again, this one in particular is for Tiffany Stratton. Like we talked about Tiffy needing a Megazord kind of build. This is one of those Megazord for Tiffy specifically. But yeah. Well, the poll is a clear 3. Discord is all over the place between 4, some 5s.
It feels like this is the same ability that Charlotte has, just different colors. So we may have to standardize that score.
Do we have Charlotte on this one? No, that was before we did that. Let me look real quick here at power ratings. Why are these not alphabetical? There we go. CM Punk. Where in the world is Charlotte? There she is. We gave Charlotte a 4, but we did note there was a battle among the community that said it was either a 3 or a 4, that there was a lot of discussion around that. But if we're saying it's the same ability, then we either need to drop Charlotte a point or we need to give Naomi a 4.
Yeah, I think it's a 4. 2 MP. Now, HD's right, but we can't power rate based on what else has come out. We can only power rate based on this unique. We almost try to do it in a vacuum, right? We can't say, well, there's so many others that do 60% blue. I think it's a 4, and I think we should set this 2 MP in a different color gem percentage just as a 4.
Okay. I mean, I did make the note in there, same as Charlotte, and similar debate amongst the community.
Oh, somebody said Charlotte was overrated. What?
Oh, what? What?
Friend.
She might have been. I don't know. Well, that gives us a. If you think Charlotte's overrated, let's talk about Naomi. We got a 20 out of 25, which is pretty much right in line with the other S tier characters that get released. Julius Creed was an exception because he hit so stinking hard that he was a 22. Let's see, Ozzy's the exception there. Okay, Sami Zayn would be the low end. He was 17. Bret Hart was a 19. So she's right in that. I would say maybe 1 point or so off. Jim Fear, the code does work. You just have to have it all caps. SummerSlam 2024, all capital letters.
Oh, yeah. I did see someone say they had to reset a few times for it to take it. So maybe I don't know. Give that a try as well.
Gotcha. Well, I think we got it. That she is a 20 out of 25. And I mean, objectively, there's some data to that. And again, if we want to drop her to a 19, that's fine. We just also need to drop Charlotte down one as well. So that's it for this video, I think, Rusty. Especially because we're trying to get to some polls before feud happens. So you want to take us out for this video?
Here's my final thought. Kind of like Jerry Springer used to say, right? My final thought is this. Because Naomi is a shardless recruit and basically a pay to recruit poster, I think the community has either higher expectations or stricter scrutiny against her. I think if all of this were, say, true of Tiffy Stratton, if the roles were reversed, I think the score would still be the same. That's just my thought. I think we get a little bit of a paywall bias sometimes and want them to either do something unique or more powerful. I think this is a very fair score. And I think, if anything, we're probably harder on Naomi because she was so difficult to recruit.
I could see that.
We want you to be part of our next power rating. So join us every Friday night on Twitch, and you can help us cultivate the score. You can enter the chat and share your feedback. We will see you next time, friends.
Bye.